Hi, I'm Scalata, and welcome back to a very special episode of Library Lessons. Today we're talking about Author of the Month! Woo! On today's episode, we are talking about the amazing, the esteemed, drumroll, Rayna Telgemeier. You may know her as the author of the Smile series, Drama, Ghosts, The Babysitter's Club, and more. Have any of you read these books? I thought some of you might have. Now, you might be wondering what the difference is between a graphic novel and a comic book. Let's use some definitions to help us out. A graphic novel contains a full narrative beginning to end and may have other books in the series before or after it. It can also cover a vast spread of genres. Okay, now let's say that together. Graphic novel contains a full narrative beginning to end and may have other books in the series before or after it. It can also cover a vast spread of genres. Great job! Let's go to the next definition. A comic book is usually only one part of a narrative and may be difficult to follow if you don't read it in order. They also usually follow the character of a superhero. Okay, now together. A comic book is usually only one part of the narrative and may be difficult to follow if you don't read it in order. They also usually follow the character of a superhero. Great, now that we know the difference, let's go over some facts about Rayna. Rayna was born in 1977. That makes her 44 years old. Now you might be wondering, how can someone who's 44 make books for us? Well, that's the great thing about writing, is that it doesn't matter how old you are or who you're writing for, anyone can do it. And you know what helps her out? The fact that her Smile series is autobiographical. That means another definition. Let's go over autobiographical. Autobiographical means drawing facts, experiences, and information from one's own life to inspire work. Repeat that with me. Drawing facts, experiences, and information from one's own life to inspire work. Great! Sometimes it's easier to draw inspiration from your own life rather than just coming up with it on the spot. Let's see where else she draws inspiration from. Rayna explains, I read all kinds of books, the news, blogs, cookbooks, I watch movies, I walk around my city, I look at old photographs, I travel, I meet new people, I listen to music. Sounds like procrastination, right? Not so. I never know when something is going to strike a chord, but I need to be ready when it does. I watch. I wait. I hope. I get glimmers of ideas, usually something visual. Here's an example. I see a picture of my friend's kid on Facebook wearing a Halloween costume and think to myself, maybe I'll work on a book about a kid wearing a skeleton costume someday. I might draw a few pictures, look up some reference, jot some notes down in my phone, but nothing comes together. That's okay. I'll file skeletons away for another day. Where might we have seen Rayna using skeleton costumes in her books? If you've ever read Ghosts, you'll know that it takes place during Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, so she filed that idea away and used it another time. Let's go over some more facts. Rayna grew up in San Francisco and lives there now. Her favorite color is yellow. She has 2 cats named Kiku and Albie. Her favorite book is Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim. Her favorite show is Top Chef. Rayna first discovered comic strips in her daily newspaper when she was 9, and then she started drawing at the age of 10. First, she started by copying her favorite characters. She then started to morph these characters with her own style all throughout middle and high school. She then went to art college, the School of Visual Arts in New York City. Rayna says, I really enjoyed my illustration classes, learning about human anatomy and trying to capture difficult poses, but my faces were always cartoony. My teachers hated this. But I was beginning to realize that cartoony faces are a huge ingrained part of my style of drawing. Once I finished college, I was happy to just embrace my own style and started making comics non-stop. Rayna shows us that we have to go with our gut when it comes to our own style, whether that's writing or drawing. Do you prefer to draw or write? I prefer writing, but that's what I went to school for. But I do like to draw as well. Let's try creating our own comics. I'm going to show you a comic that's drawn but has no speech in the bubbles. So you go ahead and pause the video when you see it and fill in the speech bubbles. Now that you've filled in the speech bubbles, why don't you share what you've written with the person next to you, your class, your teacher, or an adult? I bet all of your speech bubbles were filled with great words, and I can't wait to read them myself. Now let's do the opposite. I'm going to give you the dialogue in the speech bubble, and then you're going to draw comics around that speech. So go ahead and pause the video when you see the speech to give yourself enough time to draw either on a piece of paper or a whiteboard. Okay, show me and the others what you've created. Wow, you guys are creative and talented. You're on your way to becoming the next Rayna Telgemeier. I got all the information and photos from today's lesson on gorayna.com. I'll put the link down in the description in case you have any more questions that you want to look up on her website. Thanks for joining me on Author of the Month! Woo! This has been Library Lessons with Miss Galata. I'll see you next time.